Hello, everyone. Welcome to this Cancer Support Community Central Ohio class on natural pain relief. My name is Lily Cunning. I am an herbalist and wellness coach, and I'm here to provide you with a recording of what should have been the January session. And again, I apologize for that. But Darlene will be mailing this recording out as well as the slide deck. So let's go ahead and dive in. All right, hopefully everybody can see that. Today we're going to talk about what pain is, how to get to the root cause of pain, the different types of pain, and how they're treated differently, and some lifestyle as well as supplement changes to help with pain relief. So, first off, I want to remind everyone that pain is a message that something is wrong. You don't want to ignore pain. And I say this from experience. I was on workers' comp for 2 years because I ignored pain related to a computer. It was a computer related injury, carpal tunnel, tendonitis. It ended up cascading into problems because I just kept working through the pain and not taking a break. Um, it ended up debilitating me for 2 years. I had to go to four practitioners a week, could not work, was in constant pain. And it took a while to get out of pain and get functional again. In the end, before I went on workers' comp, I couldn't take transit. I couldn't drive a car. I couldn't cut my own food. I couldn't push open a heavy door. It was awful, right? So you don't want to ignore pain. Pain is your body telling you something, and we all need to listen to our bodies. There are different ways that we handle pain in a holistic practice like mine. First, we want to recognize it. We want to put up limits. We want to figure out what is the root cause of that pain because sometimes it's obvious and sometimes it's not. My pain was caused by a work related injury and I knew what caused it. But some people are having pain and they keep getting test after test and maybe they don't know what's causing the pain. Um, we live in a society that values our productivity more than it values us as people. And while you definitely need to be able to function on some level, recognizing very early that you're not going to be able to do all the things that you have done and eliminate the pain and heal your body at the same time is important. And you are not what you do. You have value just being you. Symptom management, which is what a lot of Western biochemical medicine does, the kind of medicine that you have insurance for, can do a bit for symptom management, although some are desirable and some are not. Some have led to, epidemics of addiction, um, and some are just only temporary. And, that's all they do is symptom management because they have not necessarily gotten to the root cause. One of those things is steroid injections, right? Don't get me wrong, when you're in pain, you want it to stop. But most people get the steroid injections so that they can go back to their regular life, function at the level that they were. And then when they need another injection, they get another injection. It does nothing to improve the condition that is causing the pain. And frankly, long term steroid use is not recommended. You don't want to disrupt your endocrine system in that way by adding steroid injections. So, in a holistic practice, we try and figure out what kind of pain it is. Is it acute or chronic, right? Have you been living with it for a while or did it come on suddenly? Is it intense burning? Uh, is it an ache that just won't go away? Where is it in your body? And what systems, what parts of the body, what part of your anatomy are involved? Most people are familiar with what muscle pain feels like, and many people are familiar with bone pain if you've ever fractured or broken a bone. Nerve pain can happen, obviously, and it feels more electrical and uh, it's hard. I'm trying to give you a good description. Electrical is definitely there. It's very different than muscle pain. And then organ pain is something that not everyone experiences, and they don't necessarily recognize it when they're having it. It's just this, it could be acute, or it could be, intense, or it could be an ache. Um, but a lot of people don't recognize it because the organs are so deep within the torso. For example, when I had a kidney infection, I did not realize it was my kidneys. I thought I had back pain because where you experience a lot of your kidney sensation is here in the small of your back. So I just thought I had back pain and it was aching. And it turns out, after they did some urine tests, that I had an infection and I needed antibiotics. Um, so yeah, so what kind of pain? Chronic pain is treated differently than sudden acute pain. If you've been living with pain for a while, obviously that condition is something that needs ongoing monitoring and treatment. And it is different. And I will tell you, unfortunately, if you live with chronic pain, your threshold for pain goes up and up and up. Like you're able to withstand more. That's not a great thing, right? But eventually, the level of pain that chronic pain users live with would probably knock a newbie on the floor, right? Because they have not been living with that level of pain. It's kind of like, the volume on a radio. If you live with it at a certain volume, and it's loud for other people, like you get used to that level, um, you know, but it's loud for other people. Do we know if your pain is illness related or injury related? Right? Injury related pain is pretty obvious, right? Something happens, ow, and then you feel pain in an area. Whereas illness related pain can be mysterious, particularly if it wasn't a very dramatic illness. Um, for example, COVID, right? Most people think of it as something close to like the respiratory flu, right? But it is not. Um, and the long-term effects of COVID can cause long-term pain, organ failure, heart failure, extreme fatigue. It is just a very different beast than the flu. It's a very different virus. It attacks multiple systems in the body. And if you're experiencing mysterious pain, and you've had COVID, even a mild case, the thing is, if you had COVID for a few days and then you got over it, that doesn't mean that you don't have long COVID if you're experiencing chronic issues now. Um, and you should probably see a specialist who understands and is keeping up with the symptoms and the treatments for long COVID. And they have a new name for it, and I'm trying to remember what it's called. It makes you take it a lot more seriously, but I will look that up and send it in the email that I sent to Darlene with the slide deck and the recording. What systems are affected by your pain, right? So it used to be, excuse me, it used to be that fibromyalgia was, mysterious. And they, first of all, they dismissed it. Then they recognized it as a syndrome. And when they first recognized it, they thought that it affected the nervous system because it was pain related and it was all over the body, just the way that, our nerves are. It turns out that fibromyalgia is vascular in its manifestation. So, just like the nervous system, the vascular system, all your veins and arteries and capillaries, also are everywhere in your body. Um, so, understanding what an illness does and how it manifests in your body, what systems are affected, will help you to treat your pain and manage your pain as well. Getting to the root cause as well as dealing with symptoms, rather than just taking, opioids to dull the pain temporarily. Let's eliminate the pain. right? Um, Also, is it just pain or is it also pain and inflammation? They often go hand in hand, particularly with injuries, um, or when there's an acute illness that is causing pain, inflammation is often there. And inflammation response is your body trying to fight whatever it is that is causing your pain. So, certain level of anti-inflammatories are warranted, but not completely. Because what is inflammation, right? It is your body sending all of its fighter cells and blood supply to an area. It swells those tissues and causes discomfort and or pain. But you may need those those fighter cells. You may need that blood feeding the cells in that area to do repair. So a certain amount of inflammation is to be expected. You kind of have to live through it. Extreme inflammation that causes, a debilitation for long periods of time is obviously something that we want to get under control. And then, as a holistic practitioner, I look at, based on what kind of pain it is and what is affected, if we're going to use topicals, internal remedies, or both. Often it's both. Um, so, for example, if someone has a fibro flare, I'm going to do both. If someone has an autoimmune flare, I do both because we need to get the response under control that caused the flare up, as well as dealing, let's say, psoriasis. Psoriasis is an autoimmune disease that manifests on the skin or the scalp. And so you can see it, and we can apply topicals to get rid of the discomfort of the manifestation of symptoms. But it is an autoimmune disease and therefore warrants an internal remedy, if that makes sense. Oh, and I want to mention that at any point, as you're listening to this presentation, if you have questions, I welcome your emails. I would be happy to respond to your questions. Um, and, some of the most important parts of these sessions that I do are answering people's questions that are specific to them. So I welcome that. And at the end of the presentation, I'll make sure that you get my contact information for that. So, pain management starts with lifestyle changes. We're going to look at diet, nutrition, movement, activity level, sleep, and stress first. Before we take any pills, before we take any supplements, we're going to look at those things because they make a huge difference and they are in your control. I know that when you're in pain, it often seems overwhelming to make a lot of different changes in your life, and often the thing that is the easiest is what ends up happening. In the case of food, for example, drive-throughs, fast food, so easy, but it also makes things worse. So we're going to talk about those things. All of these things in unison, the way that you live your life, help you to maintain and restore balance and harmony in your body. Um, and we will get to supplements because sometimes supplements are needed to tip the scales and get you back in balance. If you are really far out of balance, supplements are great to help you move the needle. But your lifestyle is the main thing that is going to create healthy homeostasis, so that if you do have a condition where it can cause pain and you have to live with this condition, let's say an autoimmune dysfunction, um, maintaining a healthy lifestyle will keep that pain to a minimum or eliminate the pain part, and you deal with other types of symptoms as you work on the root cause of your autoimmune dysfunction. So, diet. Let's talk about food because food is the foundation of everything. What you put in your body helps you to rebuild the cells that make up your body. So, garbage in, garbage out. What you need to do is find a way to eat as healthily as you can. Now, everybody has a different idea of what healthy is, and the internet certainly does not help with that. There are a lot of fad diets and fake nutrition out there. But I will tell you that a healthy diet gives you the nutrients you need, vitamins, minerals, amino acids. It gives all of those to you within the diet, and that you don't necessarily need to supplement if you are eating a healthy diet. Um, Now, you might need to supplement because of the condition you have, may make you calcium deficient, for example. But generally speaking, a healthy diet will allow you to maintain uh, uh, a good state of wellness. So, taking an anti inflammatory diet, particularly in times when you're flared up, is really great. Now, obviously, if you're allergic to any of these things, you avoid them. But, look at the green box. All of those things are healthy for you and will help you reduce systemic inflammation in the body. You can eat as much of these as you like. Now, as citizens of the United States, it is often difficult, particularly in the kind of world that we live in, where capitalism and our jobs decide when we can eat and how long we have to eat. And, we need to keep going, 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 and we need that energy to do the thing. It's really hard to avoid the things in the red box. But with some advanced preparation and some forethought, you can do this. Nobody does it 100%, right? My kid has his birthday coming up this week and wants to go to a fried chicken place. Ugh. Okay, I like fried chicken too, but we need to put that in moderation, right? Everything in moderation, including moderation. So for a birthday dinner, we will have fried chicken. But here's the things to avoid: refined carbohydrates. So all of the snacks and breads and pastries that are at the market, avoid them, especially baked goods, because not only do they have refined carbohydrates, but they also have all these chemical additives like dough stabilizer and brighteners in them that actually cause health problems as well. Um, French fries and other fried foods. Here comes my fried chicken, right? Particularly ones that you don't make yourself. If you make your French fries, you know exactly what the temperature is when they go in so that they're absorbing less oil. Air fried French fries, of course, are healthier for you than deep fried French fries. But those French fries from the fast food place, they're not great for you. And they use oils that aren't great for you either. Soda and other sugar sweetened beverages. The amount of refined sugar that you take into your body matters, especially for inflammation markers in your body. So in my house, we don't bring soda home, we don't have it. We drink other things, plain iced tea, kombucha, water, right? And seltzer water, even, right? Like if we're craving those bubbles, rather than drinking soda, which is sweetened with sugar, we drink the essenced, bubbly water. Lots of refined sugar snacks. This is candy, cookies, things like that. Not great to have more than a couple times a week. Red meat, so beef, lamb, and processed meat. So things that have all kinds of weird preservatives, nitrates, things like that in them, emulsifiers, not good for you. Um, if you eat meat, chicken, fish, maybe some pork in there, much better for you than red meat. Red meat is not not to be eaten every day in particular. Margarine, shortening, and lard, these are hydrogenated, ultra processed. If you get lard directly from a farm and it's rendered, by the meat processor, it's better than buying the lard at the supermarket. But honestly, those things help build inflammation. Let's talk about movement. Every day, your body needs to move. You cannot be sedentary for long, and remain healthy. So the people who are bedridden, like people come in and they move their legs and they move their arms and they try to get them to do some kind of movement. Um, if you live with chronic pain, it may feel terrible in the short term to do exercise. But number one, I promise you that there is an exercise that works for you. And number two, it will make you feel better in the long run. As someone who lives with a permanent partial disability from my workers' comp injury, when I don't do my qigong, I start to feel it. My joints get less flexible. My IT band gets tight. I feel stiff. And I start to suffer, right? And I start getting pain. If I do my Qigong routine every day, which is, between 18 and 25 minutes a day, um, it really makes a huge difference in my well being. So I work to try and do it every day. If I can't do that on a day, I will make sure that I get some other kind of exercise. I'm not one of those fitness kind of people. Never have been. Didn't really like sports as a girl. But I do believe in fitness, right? Helping your body to stay fit. Exercise helps you build more bone tissue. It helps your body's metabolism. It's just super important, right? So if you have pain or mobility issues, here are some ideas of different types of movement that may be available to you, and things that you want to pursue. So when I was first injured, I was living and had a Y membership, a YMCA membership, and they had a pool and they had classes. So I took aqua aerobics, and I was definitely the youngest person in that aqua aerobics class. Most of my um, classmates were elderly ladies with their fun little swim caps. Um, and it was me and my friend who both had work related injuries go in there. But I will tell you, the aqua aerobics were amazing. They helped me maintain flexibility, they were low impact, they did not hurt when I did them. Swimming also, right? Like sometimes after class, my friend and I would do some laps just to extend and stretch and do things. Walking, good old fashioned walking. Um, right now we're in winter and it's cold, so I don't tend to walk outside. I am very afraid of slipping and falling on ice. Hate that. But I will be adding an evening walk after dinner with my dogs once, all the ice melts. Like that is going to be a regular thing most of the year. So in addition to my Qigong, walking, right? Chair or some modified yoga if you can't do the yoga poses. And most yoga instructors will tell you how to modify the stretch for you. For me, I was recommended yoga when I was injured, and I tried it and it flared up my injuries. Just because people recommend it to you doesn't mean it's right for you. Don't feel pressure to continue with an exercise that makes you hurt. I found that holding a pose the way that you're supposed to do in yoga flared up my injuries, whereas Qigong or Tai Chi, which is a movement modality and you keep moving slowly, actually made me feel better and regained a lot of my flexibility. So I definitely, recommend trying something and seeing how it makes your body feel. If it's mild discomfort, keep going. But if you feel pain, the way that I did after trying yoga, try something else. Stretching is something that everyone should be doing, right? First thing in the morning, get out of bed, stretch your body, but strategic stretching, right? Stretching that will help whatever injury you may have, whatever maintaining whatever flexibility you have, and working to get more mobility. um yeah, and I want to repeat that movement will lessen pain even if your movement practice is uncomfortable at first. Also, if you do the same thing multiple times a week, you can track your progress. This is how I know Qigong helped me, right? I kept doing the same routine. Um, and for me, I do the silk brocade 8 movements on the regular, and then I toss in some more strenuous qigong exercises. But the 8 brocades is something that most people can do. You can follow along on YouTube, for example. But if you do the same movements repeatedly throughout the week, you can actually monitor. Oh wow, I can turn my head more, right? Or, oh, wow, I can get lower when I go to touch the ground. Like now my flats of my hands are touching the ground, not just the tips of my fingers. You will be able to track your progress, and that is invaluable. Getting comfortable with your body and knowing, what it can do. Um, Sleep hygiene. So, everybody thinks, oh, just, jump in bed, get some sleep. But it's not always that simple for people. And if you experience problems with sleep, I highly recommend starting a regular routine, a wind down routine that gets your body physically ready and your mind physically ready for bed. Um, and there are things to avoid, and there are things that you can do that will help you get more sleep, because sleep, if you don't get sleep and you're living with pain, it's going to make it worse. You definitely need to get 6 to 8 hours consistently. If you can't get 6 to 8 hours in one stretch, take a nap, make up that sleep debt. Um, but create a routine to wind down and stick to it. Some people, like to take a bath or a shower at night. Some people want to read a book to wind down. Some people start diffusing aromatherapy that is calming, um, or a cup of tea or a warm milk, right? Anything that relaxes. Um, all of these things will help the body relax, help the mind relax. And if you do them repetitively, it's going to help you get into that sleep. I would also avoid any caffeine after 3 p.m. I would avoid red wine after 5 p.m. And don't use screens of any sort an hour before your bedtime. That means falling asleep to the television while you think you need it. It will make your sleep more disrupted. It will make you more likely to wake up in the middle of the night. We need to come up with a new routine for you. Um, the brain waves that are generated by being looking at a backlit screen, like I'm looking at my laptop right now, keep your brain awake, um, and aren't conducive to the kind of brain waves that we need to achieve REM sleep. So that means your phone, kick your phone out of the bedroom, go charge it somewhere else. Do not have a TV in your bedroom or keep it off at night. Um, you know, Use a book to wind down. And the other thing that I would highly recommend is looking at your bedroom and doing an audit. How is this your sanctuary? Do you have things in there that make you think about anything other than rest? Is there a desk in there that you work at? Ugh, move your desk elsewhere. Do you have blackout curtains to keep the light from coming in? Um, do you have a noise machine? Are you a light sleeper where any noise wakes you up? Can you get a noise machine? All of these things will help you to create a dark, quiet sanctuary that are going to help you to get better sleep. Stress management. Ugh, easier said than done, right? There are so many different sources of stress in our lives, but it is a killer. It definitely makes the cells in our body weaker. It has been shown to shorten our lifespans and also make the life that we do have a lot worse. So find out what stresses you out, right? And be honest with yourself. Other people can tell you stuff, but only you know what stresses you out. Is it your job? Is it a relationship, whether that's with a coworker or at home, or a relationship that's not going so well with a romantic partner or a friend? Is it situations that you find yourself in over and over again? we need to figure out how to avoid or change the things that stress you out. And I know that is easier said than done, but the best way to fix stress is to eliminate it at its source. You can't supplement your way out of stress. And I say that as I'm drinking my adaptogen mushroom coffee, right? This helps me with my stress response, but you need to eliminate the source of your stress. And it's I say this as someone who knows, okay? I have had stressful jobs that I've had to leave. I've had stressful relationships that I had to get out of where it felt like I was stuck. Um, the most recent one, I just moved to a whole new state, left a relationship and the father of my child behind. And I am a single mom now. And I will tell you, being a single mom and the sole breadwinner, I don't get child support, is so much less stressful than what I had before. And it was hard. And it continues to be hard, right? It's still a struggle, but I'm cheering you on. I know that if you can identify it, then we can work out ways to change it. If you don't have a therapist, get one, right? Even one of the virtual teledoc therapists, like BetterHelp, is one that you could check out. Um, Being able to talk out your problems and ask them for tips on stress management, right, is huge. So let's talk about supplementation. So, for pain and inflammation, here are the main categories of things that you should think about: fish oil, and that's not flax oil, that's fish oil. Um, I will tell you, I'm not a huge fan of the vegan diet in the long term. In the short term, it can be very healthy because not enough people eat vegetables and greens enough, so it can change the balance of your diet. But in the long term, there are nutrients that you need that only come from animal products. And I say this as a former vegan. So fish oil with its omega balance is huge. Vitamin D, we actually need a lot more than what we originally thought. So during the winter months here in Ohio, um, I take vitamin D daily and I take 5,000 IU daily. When I first moved here, it was funny. I moved here from California and um, I never had a vitamin D deficiency in California. Um, and so I thought I had mono because I was falling asleep in the middle of the day. I was brain foggy. I could not function. And I went to the doctor and she took blood and she's like, "Oh, yeah, you're not just deficient in vitamin D, you're malnourished." And she gave me a prescription strength vitamin D that I could only take every other day and only for a period of time because she thought it could be hepatotoxic, bad for my liver. Um, and it took me several months to get out of that. And now, in the winter, starting in October through March, I take vitamin D every day because I never want to go through that again. And vitamin D is vital not just for your energy levels, it is part of almost every major function, and it will help with inflammation reduction and pain relief, I promise you. So, vitamin D. Nervine tonic herbs. So, nervines are herbs that work on the nervous system. Pain is a message that gets transmitted on the nervous system. So, if you have nerve pain in particular, nervine tonics are great. They help strengthen that system because if it's strengthened and more resilient, you're less likely to feel nerve pain. Some nervine tonics are oat or St. John's wort, for example, but there's also nervine relaxants or what we call sedatives. And these calm the impulses of the nervous system, which includes the pain impulses, right? Chamomile is a familiar one. Lemon balm is another one. Things that sedate the nervous system. People use them for getting to sleep. They use them for calming their anxiety. They also are good for pain and inflammation. Anti-inflammatory herbs, there are a whole class of herbs that are anti-inflammatory. One here is turmeric. It's a rhizome. It has that bright orange color when you get the right kind. There's also a white turmeric that has less anti-inflammatory properties. But if you're in Columbus, Saraga is a market for imported and immigrant foods, different ethnicities, and they have fresh turmeric root in the produce section. Highly recommend it. Rather than getting the powdered stuff, rather than getting capsules, rather than, you know, getting stuff that may not be as potent, get the fresh stuff. It's amazing and cook with it, right? It's a food. And adaptogens. Adaptogens, I mentioned my mushroom coffee. Adaptogens are herbs that not only work on your adrenal response, which gets elevated with cortisol spikes and stress, but they also work on other parts of the body. Some of them help balance blood sugar. If you are eating too much refined sugar, your blood sugar will go up, your inflammation will go up. Adaptogens can help with that. Some of them help with, other systems of the body in addition to the endocrine system, but they're healthy, they're safe for most people, even people on pharma. Um, and I love them. My favorite calming tea is Tulsi or holy basil, which is an adaptogen, also, stabilizes blood sugar, and rose, which is emotional support. And together, they feel like a hug in a cup. And so when I'm anxious, in pain, inflamed, I'll drink some of that, and it really does lower all of those levels. So I mentioned nervine tonic herbs. I think I mentioned oat and St. John's wort. Skullcap is another one. Nervine relaxants, lemon balm, catnip, passion flower, anti-inflammatory herbs. My favorite, stinging nettle. Yes, it does sting you, but if you make it into tea or you bake with it, the stinging part goes away. Um, but stinging nettle used to be that if people had rheumatoid arthritis, and their joints would swell and be so painful, people used to flagellate, whip themselves with stinging nettle and get those stings because it's the sting that actually has the anti-inflammatory, and it would, while the rash would be there from whipping yourself with stinging nettle, it would lower the inflammation like nobody's business. Meadowsweet is an anti-inflammatory where we get salicylic acid from. Aspirin was sourced from meadowsweet and willow bark, plants with high sources of salicylic acid, um, and they still work that way today. I will tell you that herbal medicine works. Up until 1986, the vast majority of pharmaceuticals in this country were extracted from plants and compounded. It wasn't until after that that synthetics became cheaper, and it's not that they are more effective than extracted and compounded plant compounds. They just are cheaper, and they created higher profit margins for the pharmaceutical industry. Herbal medicine is still medicine, and the vast majority of the world depends on herbal medicine for their medical care. The vast majority. And the World Health Organization recognizes that. There's a whole treatise on the right to herbal medicine across the world from the World Health Organization. I did want to mention that if any of these things were too broad of brushstrokes, I do have a wellness coaching program called Wellness in Weeks. It's 7 months long. Each month we tackle a different area like diet or exercise, and every week of that month you have an assignment. I do it. I set it up so that people with limited spoons, whether they're just busy working adults with families or they have a chronic condition that takes away their ability to be a real go-getter, we set it up so that we make incremental changes every week that are doable to move the needle on your wellness. It was specifically designed through my practice, my wellness coaching practice, and most of the people that I see in that practice are either dealing with cancer, autoimmune dysfunction, or infertility. So it comes out of that. It will be launching again in March, so you can join the wait list, and there's a link embedded in this slideshow that you will get if you are interested. Um, my name is Lily Cunning. I'm a community herbalist. I do wellness consultations, I teach classes, and my apothecary is called Haven Herbs. Um, And we have a bunch of things that are ready to go available for you at Haven Herbs. The product shown there is turmeric tea paste, which is the easiest way to make golden milk. I mentioned the benefits of turmeric. Well, this is turmeric, black pepper, and ginger suspended in raw local honey. And you just mix it with the dairy, with the milk of your choice, whether it's dairy or non-dairy milk. I tend to use soy milk, but you can use, dairy milk or any other kind of milk. The fattier the better, frankly, because it's a lipid soluble herb, turmeric. But we mix it with black pepper so that it's more absorbable by the body. The piperine in the black pepper and the curcumin in the turmeric bond together to make it more bioavailable. And ginger helps get it around your body. It's one of those warm circulation enhancing herbs that is fantastic. So yeah, so let me stop my share really quick. I want to make sure that you have my contact info so that you can reach out with any questions at all. Um, so my email address is holler, Holler, holler at lilycunning.com. And that is spelled Lilykunning. That's holler, Holler at lilycunning.com, Lilykunning. So if you have any questions, please let me know. I will be sending this recording and the slide deck along to Darlene to distribute to those of you that came to class. I really look forward to speaking with you, and I hope you have a wonderful month. And I will see you for Wellness in Weeks in February, or not Wellness in Weeks, sorry, the Natural Living series in February, which I believe is natural pet care. If you are interested in holistic options for your companion animals, that is the class for you. Have a good one. Bye bye.